Hear not Israel, O Lord our God, they and I dwelt among them. Because the whole synagogue where I dwelt among them in the main synagogue. Because in the one who carries the Bible, we ask that the Lord give us the strength you are for you. If you do not help us, then it will be like a man we are not already there for. Help us, help us, help us to work for. We ask the Lord to give us the strength that we can do everything from you. You will help us in all our work. And this is the meaning, that if you are not, all our work for us the strengthening will help us to be able to. Prayer of many rises before the Holy One, blessed be He, and the Holy One, blessed be He, and the third sides. Continued kindnesses that are included from how many you are the head of the world, all the army of friends. Help us to complete each other and us. Union. Desour. Yar. Dear friends, in the first part of the lesson we will learn from a lesson I heard on age 5. I heard an article from Ken and I heard to make readers happy in the scale of Mefgma that is being taught that there is some other. In the end, we have this desire, affects the form of actination, other, as we learn that also with us, paralyzes the waves of the sun. Therefore we also need to. Our generation suffers more and more. Ours feel the inverted light bulb. How do we do it? In that we pass to ourselves, and in this we achieve this transition or our, and not everyone paralyzes to reach the Hebrew Lamed, Hebrew Shin, Hebrew Mem, Hebrew He for the sake of we will not feel with us who are there, and for this reason the person who does agree because the sound will be on the purpose of perfection and not to accept, and if the person sees agree he has no other advice that he should pour out his conversation to Hashem will help. Blessed be He. If we really start from the moments there is a second part, and then in a way that means this. Creator, only, we arrive, in order to influence. Hashem, I need every time. As you say, it is one time, some phase transition, gradation more, influence to hear. About it is written a lot. Of the world, is about the S, except, wants to cancel. Shows itself that it is. But, this is also that a person accepts, so we are in the desire to accept. For this, how I intend to use it. Oops, there is a hole, saved, so I can already use it. Very special. This is what we are trying. 7. Apparently, the internet has crashed. Thank you, teacher. Raf, is there any benefit in being connected with Carver? It doesn't. Also raise the first man to give. Until he gives, it is called to make the souls happy. Our friends in the introduction, and just now after the last paragraph you spoke about, the passive part of the soul will push us to achieve lemur. How is this happening is that we in such of the soul is something that comes from how does that work. Now to talk about our things. For time in bodies on all the bar grad by and in Rab, tell me please, maybe you have some kind of how I turn it into this. Do all your desires as much as you are able. Ales as much of the thank you Rab. The question is whether and also thank you. Third paragraph 2. Shemal and for this he will. From below it is clear that against the will, against, once, another, are, to the pit. We can do what people keep, are, that I do, can only do, and therefore, turning to the pit is not certain to the tools. Between humans does not belong to this. We and RLM those things have. Con, for him strength mind, understands, of connection, need, the first one, to do if this is not for him, then to do this prayer. Then how does it work? Is it true but the comes out of us well, Dorn, although we have been blessed with everyone to receive help from him, is lamentation and great respect. Envy is found that are on them, and then the and RLMN. This prayer comes out of him, is it true? Yes, it was. Also learned. SL Yerisha NR. Then such a question as what should be the prayer to be anointed from the low, by time yes or from the joy that grew time after, by time yes or from the joy that grew time after, by time yes or from the joy that grew time after. Time, no. Joy, no. Sure I am dead, but we are moving forward. Strength, up what is the strength? Ah, I want to ego, and all kinds of forms of the group of me in the group or in all. I am rewarding forces from such that we should come out of it to the world. North. What is an act of true correction? True correction is prayer, just like prayer. But we need to understand what tendencies for proper prayer are. Center A. Question from a friend. From above that, I am willing to cancel. Thank you very much for the very special lesson. The waterfall is what it is to feel. It is called feeling it like our world. This world is what we need to feel as well as the reward of our thanksgiving. We will move on to the next part of the lesson. The question is how to receive the flavor. It is what we try to be in the beginning, outside of the true reality. What we need is only the ability to connect with each other. The spiritual world, the Creator. This is actually the fruit that we collect. And this is coming. We will begin to feel what is missing in order to move on to the next part of the lesson. From an opening to the wisdom of Kabbalah. We read in the book of Kabbalah, 641, the wisdom of Kabbalah, letter M. We learned up to how the face that did not want to influence what it is capable of, and then the process of infinity returns. Everything that happens is happening. The actions prevent the same code. In the end, the second time that the kingdom is quite infinite, the decision the kingdom is a wheel that makes a decision, so that the second face is born. This decision is completely a face in itself and does not have as it was the face of the code in the kingdom of infinity that now decides to accept something, and we will accept this kingdom, the kingdom of this face. Now build wisdom, of course, as in the greatness of the corners of light. Examination operates not to both all these poles. Then in the mouth the tool that wants to resemble us, and then the examination of the dollets that come out to us already. Equivalence, yes, and then it actually operates the operation of the kingdom, operation towards the light, and then it comes out. We have before, attracts, relates, and so on. Every operates in spirituality, and now after that, a degree is actually that it does not know its own to work from an action. It does not matter where this action takes form, and then the same thing operates also towards the top, more than the mouths of all, lower, in them. But this is not our situation. Many are shattered when the soul acts suddenly, wanting a part in the souls. And to this extent she makes herself similar to the upper light one, because she wants to be like that which is really clear. Sometimes readers will have to know that it is comfortable, yes. Roles in the new tests. Another one in difference from the lower to the upper, and it is because any other lacks its upper test of, then is because the coin makes the brother. And for example, in the first face it is clear that the screen has all the qualities of the body, here by the beats, and does not even put the Rashi of there, only impressed from the qualities of the great test, and accordingly when that screen is included in the head and receives their appearing example of the level that comes out on this screen is in the level of wisdom. In the letter 22, which level of wisdom is on the screen, the face of the loss, because of the change of the lower test to the break we need to understand, and the levels is after working with the screen that rules with the screen. She simulates herself, so she can simulate herself most. What is all cloth only? Face intelligence wisdom. Camel say you have a lot you can learn, can teach. Power you have even less willpower say you can learn from. Words I could. Cloth. My brother to know. From those. Army section. According to the screen. And now created only can. Imagine. Hello. He has no more. And all of. Why is. Why. Lists. Impressions from kingdoms that have now gone through a process of wisdom and creates. Ask I see that this philosopher from this limit of was in a state that is made, will that is written, called shame, action called urge to raise the cold itself, begins if I created, fern, passes again, I screen wants to receive on a prophet, root father, brings her shame, herself, she is already the time, to the place that Creator created her, will cross himself, back donkey in the walls he says, I worry this, I can reach, and it decides that by and RLM, and that brings her decision rather can do this, screen is gentle, wants to be, and RLM so now with the screens, who is the creator who is where the creator is later to be, her, we say, takes the first, did the this language understands, the character, reg, has, front, backla, that, this is a, face de lash wheel, Golgotha, Golgotha, yes, actually only knows itself its abilities, before the reductions in, this process of ours, that work, create the steps, after we spread the face of the Father to, and make a comprehensive light touch on the screen DGF DAV, screen DAV in G. Here this touch raises, and processes from it the davish lists of the last exam in the, and is included in it in a pairing and is made and changed in the screen, but from A, and the rise of the screen that is signed 10, and the kingdoms of Zarin the kingdoms of all Tafrish, these talk about the real, the Ber, Elgalter. So the degrees of achievement are small. There is not their power important, but this small face, achieving the effect this is a feature already. Then it is that faces now are going down a problem that they're going down is accepted in them, each and every one, and from the strength of the achievement what the names are of the Yakak, counting with a thorn in this constant gives us the face. He is talking about someone, yes, that is all their side, especially not about this, talking about who he is we are, and who he is not according to the indication he is. In this faces especially that faces are different from each other, yes, because he is everywhere. He is ISO every yes, and because he is everywhere. He is ISO every yes, and because he is everywhere. He is ISO every yes, and great he is nevertheless. An adult is an adult makes peace in his high places he will make peace upon us. Over all Israel, he is a man makes peace in Moses peace upon us and over all Israel will make peace upon us all Israel will make peace upon us and over all Israel will make peace upon us it is far beyond the realm of the living in which we are in, the vessels of the vessels, around and enter. There is a song with the rabbi. All the conditions for the revelation of the Creator, you can really feel how the lesson is, how it is, how it will be felt by me, how it will be for us. What is it that we are conducting ourselves in it in a way that we have in the 6th section, during the lesson, in a spiritual connection that acts on you. The possibility of the returning teacher is only possible in that you build a complete system that communicates with its members, and then, on the creation of everything, there must be a spirit for it to know. And let's also watch a Kle. That sings to us how much the morning lesson is not some kind of treason, and how much our students have been blessed herewith. Our shared spiritual flow of going out together in the morning. Yes, life is actually, and then all the creations that are found before. Everything is found. Our friends. Present there. Result the phenomenon. Theirs, the material, was material as well. So the materials emerge with respect to their vessels and say, these things, our is not mine, in this trouble, we want. So this flow that comes out is my creation. So we want to clarify between us on a practical level the tools of the workshop class. One of the actions for the success of the class is to write the principles of being as much as possible, as much as possible, as much as possible, as much as possible, to be together. Yes, if we talk about internal actions, then the rabbi now explains that we need to, at the end of the day, we will get to the point that is happening. So all this is for you in the class, that we can learn to understand. It all starts with preparing for the demon. As much as I prepared before going to bed. The main principle is the cancellation, not trying to be in one flow with everyone. Yes, we actually come to the morning class to work with our hearts, to work together, to pray to the Creator to correct us. Certainly the preparation during the day contributes to you, and slowly you have opened the understanding that what I want is that I will use reality. Something that is my home there is another thing that for which you come to the class is to lift up. Yes, exactly. Friends, already prayer. Curse and all are worldly tool in the main thing is to really be all the time, not to stay in the extent that you want to hear something to know from yourself from your arrival to endeavour ways during the day of the class that we will live that we stood in the class week enduring. Why, and also enter into what taught us and try it. No, with the class. Yes, as we heard the subject to be in the flow of the class, so be in the time of the class. Friends. Questions of the friends to encounter. After that to speak in the answers of the rabbi who us through all everything. Cancellation, because first of all I really need to understand that I do not come to learn alone, to die, so cancel this halakha of the friends. A. Prayer is the main tool during the class. Prayer is important to be in the army that goes to the class to understand that this is a few thousand people. 1 point for me, very, very much all the thoughts of the friends and all the shortcomings. I also must enter clearly. S is simply everyone working in the same direction. Yes, and it all depends on how much we prepare ourselves. The importance of friends. According to the rabbi, how many times we learned in the first part of the lesson that to reach the sim, to be impatient, which means not to settle for something that wants to bring us down, or to be very tired of listening or not. We need to spice it up. Only on the goal, only on this goal. This generation of listening needs iron here for this, because it tries to pull us in, and that's it. And I think that if we arrive like this, then after we talked about the greatness of the morning class, so that the teacher of the daily class, for years, what is a morning class in general, and how do we conduct ourselves in it? And this is our rabbi, the rabbi, who even now feels how much his presence is, and we connect and feel him. We got out at one of the meals, the rabbi's dedication. This is in the flame of the class, and the rabbi is not really able to see how, but how important it is to his approach to him, and also that we want to try to follow the sorrows, always follow their footsteps, to follow them, to continue to reach exactly the place, the very clear steps that you hear the rabbi say, I'm already the exeter, that the class in every situation. This is an opportunity situation. This is, for this, exactly the example that we will follow in the footsteps of the Kabbalists in our higher greatness. Within this we are allowed to pinch ourselves, because then we will unite with the people. I heard the faith of his rabbi. A person should trust the opinion of his rabbi, that is, and see a lot of Torah. The opinion of his rabbi. He needs his rabbi. In the introduction to the Zohar, at least in the heads that are bent, the straightness is drawn. If there is one without a sofer that will bend in everything on the way, everyone, then if we lack that one, we see how simple it is, that we can see a very clear line up to here, as if our song is with the rabbi and only about this relationship from our struggle with the rabbi, which is actually the principle. As much as we scream in something, to connect with him, who is in the lesson, he is, and we see a lot of our rabbi, who has the wave of the name of God, next to him, to feel. They want us to share this workshop. Which one we are for the workshop? Which one for the rabbi? Which one for myself? I see for myself in the rabbi. It's really a rabbi, how he sticks to the water in its place, which you can see. Yes, it really is. These are the most prominent examples of the rabbi. It's his dedication, his lesson, his teacher, that he constantly returns to the source and always wants to do so. He gives every friend a place to encounter the spiritual, the perseverance of a rabbi, which is also physically visible. You see that? He never misses. He feels us, gives us importance, as if he has persevered. This is actually the most important thing in our morning. The rabbi's attitude towards the rabbi is really amazing. It's also something unbelievable. Also, the example that the rabbi always gives is that he always directs him and us to achieve everything from our own. He always pushes us to grow and be in the world. And showing up in the sock is actually the connection that clearly connects to a very, very high place where he wants to lead us to. Well, of course, I can't really know, but at least for me it's like this. I think he really gets into the situation where the answer comes from a place of wisdom and not an answer from the intellect, and being able to jump between opposing situations in an instant and get confused on a personal level. I would really like to be an expert on. What level? Yes, the rabbi gives us an example. It was in the Ness. He always says that our teachers are messed up and the Lord of the ladder, the Lord of the ladder, really gives us the example. What? Yes, responsibility is something that can be felt all the time. A responsibility towards a global instrument, towards the entire world, towards the Creator. This is really what in any situation do the maximum, give the maximum, see, no matter, feels that he gives the maximum of himself, feels the situation that the group is in. Every time he helped us find out what the right thing is required and to recover how. He really appreciates. Yes, and also adherence to the goal no matter what happens. What was all kinds of situations so that way. He continues, immediately after the right tech situation, to advance towards the step bar. No, does not miss any opportunity to admire to climb the tax. Another thing I thought is confidence. Reveal spirituality. What is happening? Everyone there. Tit. H. Patience to friends. And my attitude to the questions of friends compared to the attitude of the rabbi of the world. I will just dare thank friends. Now we want to do miliar. We want examples that you are a worksh that wants to share time. The worldly invited are, and why is it important now in this part that we hear a very friends? We know that we talk crying there. His lamb more and more the master of the scale writes about it, for in the hand of the friends receive to each one his death. It is miliar. It is friends who talk in their rooms together to start the conversation that we don't have a person that I can imagine that and see so much and will be, and he prepares us for years. For us the Haggadah sees the rabbi well. I always say about one word, but this word, everything, everything, how he himself, how he is ready is awash. Sometimes I was in the morning, so I saw that he is really. Sometimes I told him, Rabbi, maybe a little later, and he comes, and I look at the strength that he held us by the hands on the hands, and we feel mechanical confidence, strength to say but themselves understand that maybe we did something there in a previous life that today we need to give him strength. This, and in his responses about the connection the same, so, and then everything will happen. I do. Ain't no I can talk. Friends, so now we want to hear the Masherdoker Wald. I will say only one thing that died in the lessons in all the years that we were with him. About customs does not speak, so Muska. Shever, what example do you get from the rabbi? 3 things would like to say. This is simply visible. Tristoche. To the letter. Example to have a return. So, friend, thank you. The main dancer must hold, also must. Simply passively I must give ground. Thank you, another friend we wanted to hear. It's Mizrahi. Alex Mizrahi for us an example. We take care to keep every comma that comes out of the rabbi to keep it forever is good. There are many. I think over the years we have seen and felt it. A few days ago we heard in one of the most important lessons. From this morning's lesson, you will receive its importance and an appeal to the Creator who will change you. We need to take from it the importance of this environment where we are. Another place where you can receive what it is. Let's evaluate it. Quote 5 from a letter from Elijah on students. It affects them from his soul, from the very students. And if the students are all included, his influence is rapid in them. It is known that each student is a single spark. In any case, only their dependence will be affected. If the students are separated from each other, they lose a lot from them, and there is still a lot left. And this is a dangerous situation. So we have talked so far about the greatness of the lesson. We talked about our daily lesson, where story of Rabbi giving with the light and the revelation of the Creator to our ancestors, what is called the age. So I, who is a priest from the leg, Shimon, if I read, I just need to swear with what for and be different. I would write differently. He wrote, he parses first in the Rash. I wanted them to be like this. It is customary in particular. This is like this. A mistake. I know how it was here. Leningrad. Yes. St. Petersburg is Moscow. Yes too. Dear man, so he took a wave did like that, and his wave so travelled the way. To this day you travel train there is such called supreme. So therefore I need like this in such a way to receive the writings. He did on paths not in the greatness of our supreme we. Sometimes the breaking because not exactly or something there like that. A week was a lesson that the rabbi, yes, we read sections on the message received. The ringing was not clear. The rabbi minutes before not the same how he sits like that and drinks all of his words in the living lesson, even though the rabbi already continues to talk about it in this when what is some of the questions in the same lesson. Source that restored the mouth, we are exactly after the supreme because breathe a moment this thing and be it all the time like that. Move to the chair, not miss it, not also be sensitive to what now also we have as long as you this example that all the time we receive that there is a question of questions and he is all the time asking you ask about this section that we put now in when questions yesterday for we need and a tear to what he wants now step we need to step. It requires us in the period that we are in all the time to flow to be all the time to, and there it went and suddenly turned around, and the rabbi physically does not sit here. So we life today requires us to help each other. Flexible. Everything we have built I want to dwell on the matter of the questions, because the rabbi works with the questions in the share, more and more the connection, and sometimes the one question can sack us we don't have this thing, but let's say in a week a question increased and did as usual migrated from the same one that got up in another direction that we saw the as if the mountain. What was there in this group says details, all of us when warming, all of us, now we do, like so it is very important that we do not threaten the things, how we are actually water, fern, obligations echo, and we need each other sensitive now. This part, let's talk about it a little, because it is a very, very important thing we will read in the mission, with the friends in our question during the Rabbi the share. We are against now together clear rules that it is important that we all keep them will already calm, with the completion in the see we are all a share or in questions to questions. Yes, I think the rabbi should enter it and really learn in a place where in this yes all the time first of all be in the combustion, that to harm, if to ask then more precise as much as possible as clear from the bull it is called from the rabbi from the friends. Today very our lesson to what extent they prepared sections. We for our part need to help the rabbi writings of the Kabbalists to direct us. It is to be also new rabbi trying to find devotion that friend spoke, so it occurred to me it was like that he would always say words as if to open, as if to give, as if this opening was directing the whole name, and if it is you I saw the opening of it to be constantly directed the supreme wants, because he wants to give why all the time you are ours to be stuck to be what to be here internal concern for friends, even what to ask a question so really. He takes a fleet of words, this is my thought in the bull that will oppose opposition inside all the time to think, right for you've sent us intentionally to the service in my opinion, should be then increased. Why and takes the new one on it to clarify to whoever asks, who hears to enter, writes a to raise questions about, opening to be like, but really with the meaning of what the rabbi, yes the truth, is really like. This example guides you and you the habit of passing the obstacle or not. What is it in the words that cry the obstacles? I think that first of all we need to try to feel from the present moment we have friends that this bias there is no other moment except the present moment and all that is needed. At the moment we try to be in this tendency, we try alone how to turn it. Should be said, we have a huge friend Yov who was not able to say, really, or and really as we heard in the lessons opening constantly, be in the most correct about the biases for some criticisms, so work with it to get a connection between us. We need a rabbi of influence, we're sure what and what to say. New and more precise tools in the end will come from the whole and good friends. We now want to hear that friends in the world also want to drink. Hear what emphases, what rules you think we have. Yes. Attitude to the lesson with a rabbi is like attitude to the source is attitude in light of them. We built the Mets them so that he can get something from it. We discussed what is important, first of all. Consistency, because I miss something for a week. Because the procedures of their day in that we of course dictate and are consistent and RLM and hear them further. Lesson, we have tools that are important to us. Well, you fooled me. I go through a lot of the rabbi's material. My thought is always that the old one, let's say, passes a rabbi passes a lesson and a rabbi passes on. Why we are not the rabbi in some kind of flow. Because we need to simply be idle. To be a second. Now we go through these materials. It's really how accurate a rabbi is in every word. Even when I'm in my office, you know, of course, when I save, because it's really the when the Kabbalah gives. Even a comma of it has a meaning. I heard that he wrote it and made mistakes with you. So we prepared a big stage. Once, I also heard that It's not exactly Hebrew, but really it's the language of a rabbi. It's confusing between female and male. It's not confusion. Thank you, friends. You fooled me. Thank you, Ariel Geld. You wanted to. It's a great privilege to talk about the person who connects humanity every morning anew. He gives and connects. He is the one who follows him. He receives the portion. The lesson is many times that the lesson manages the portion that we feel that ours always gives us the +1 that destroys it. Many times, someone needs to come. You don't give him what he has. Advance to the next level. It is very, very noticeable. In fact, the rabbi gives less introductions and more is very bitter. The rabbi wanted to enter the world of reduction, but what I feel or what he feels is what he is. We also feel that he asks the rabbi later or something, and he answers the one who asked the question. So he makes the question like this of the one who asks or who. He expresses a desire to reach the heart with each other. In this, accept and no matter what opinion or people before the lesson from the Zion, and for us to advance to our goal every day, every moment, accept our voice, not everyone's, not even the instrument of humanity. Friends, we want to take what from our last hour, build among us a spirit of walking that leads us. We need all of this. And after we realized how much we are partners with the Creator every single day, this is what is happening in our Son. Now, the daily flow that we are making happen every day today, just to be precise, because we are actually talking now on a lesson with the rabbi. Again, just to convey the lesson still, and there we need our position to hide it and prepare. It is now what is the turn to develop it more what sings to us now the flow what it is. Throughout the day, it is not just a flow of combination, uses it, and uses it a lot, that we learn the holidays and occasions the song of the Omer this week has, of the moment its special power, that gives us more we want to stick to it is. Right now a conduit for us, shows us directs us to this point. We want to talk, specifically about the daily flow about what breaks, every day and from the path until sing in. Because it is a wave that remains on the next lesson. This is already in our part after you took the second in our series. Our question, what can we add together as what? Throughout the day, the daily samsar that the rabbi wants to convey to us. Can we do to draw the daily flow into the day the same dose for him minutes? Think it is to take the central principles that we received. Try to put them into the present talk about them. Tune into them. Learn them, hear them. We're yes, first of all, in continuation of what we talked about, we need to be sensitive to what the rabbi wants to convey to us. It's something because the rabbi gives a lot of us together, we put it together. The main thing is that during the day, friends help us with the tasks of the day, and this is really a summary, or that we do in the morning. Feel the name in the class and feed the daily. We mainly have the opportunity on Zoom for the morning class, also on the central place. We do it, it's a place where we come. Another place, we are no longer in the same. In the morning class, there is from all the time. But we have already accumulated some time, we return. Each starting from the class, from the presence in the class. We will apply our to be a rest in time. For these things, it is very, very helpful. What is the lesson of that day? Each, with his work, with his prayer, which he does in between. If we say that the lesson should be enough for us, then we should deepen our relationship and begin a process of marriage and our day so that this does not happen. And here, in my opinion, joint work and in comparisons can really help. What do we compensate for later? And so the process goes on and on until we perfect it to such a state that we know one can help ourselves, because only we will carry our process. We add our togetherness throughout the day, we receive our daily portion, and then during the day we are simply among ourselves at Yov. 10. If there is work in the city, we can certainly add another one. Also during the day, we can give more prayer. This is what we will raise every day. A section of 8 from the words of the Rabbi is what we produce in the morning. All the students and I together with them are the source of everything. This morning, when everyone reads, discusses and wants to Hashem, we want from there the whole spirit of our spiritual life. This is actually this karma.